Hello guys and welcome to the Crypto Nutrition YouTube channel, bringing you digestible crypto nutrition. Today guys, we're going to be talking about Powr Ledger. Guys, this is incredibly undervalued at the moment in my opinion, and like many of the projects we like to cover on the channel, this is both applicable to the real world, being used at the moment, and is solving a real world issue. Can't wait to dive into this one guys. You want to stick around for this one. But first, of course, we need to thank our first 1,090 subscribers. Guys, I can't believe it. We made it past the 1K mark and I can't thank you all enough. So if you're new here, please do hit up that subscribe button, hit that like button, join the community, and let's drive this space forward together. But without further ado, guys, it's over to you, Destiny. So what are we drinking today, guys? We do have black coffee, no milk, no sugar, green tea in a dad mug, but I'm not a dad, and I don't go anywhere without my giant bottle of water. But guys, Powr Ledger, energy reimagined. So Powr Ledger is essentially the operating system for new energy markets. It's a blockchain-enabled software platform for trading renewable energy and environmental commodities. So at the moment, what we have to reach global carbon emission targets are RECs, or renewable energy certificates. So these are designed as a market-based instrument to provide an economic incentive for electricity generation from renewable energy sources. So these kind of things do exist, guys. RECs are traded. When a company buys RECs as documentation for the electricity delivered or consumed, those RECs are cancelled in the registry. This single standardized instrument makes it easy to track ownership, verify claims, and ensure that RECs are only sold once and there is no double counting. And although this is good, guys, of course this is good, obviously its foundation is built on outdated technology and very labor-intensive technology compared to what we have through blockchain and smart contracts. So reading that, you can very easily conclude that this industry is perfectly poised given the existence of these certificates for blockchain technology. So Powr Ledger have done just that and more. So we'll start with some of the problems that exist on energy grids at the moment. Midday oversupply of solar energy plays havoc on the grid and creates reverse flows to distribution networks. This can burn out transformers, cause harmonics and voltage outages, and actually requires even more equipment to stabilize the grid. So they say here, the central problems in electrical generation are high supply during the day and high demand during the evening. So with these traditional methods of energy distribution, because most energy generally comes from a centralized place, like a power plant or whatever it might be, feeding hundreds and thousands of energy consumers, it's really difficult to get the balance right. You know, you might be giving out a certain amount of energy at a time when not that much energy needs to be used. And then when a lot of energy does need to be used, you don't have that extra energy available to provide to consumers. So as a result, oversupply puts more demand on grid ancillary services, which relate to frequency stability. And because these services are expensive, these costs go up. So they have too much supply not being distributed and kept in these ancillary services. And these services are expensive, so they're paying more for essentially not doing anything. All of this activity makes it harder for the baseload generation to happen efficiently, and costs go up. These issues are being experienced in every market with high penetration of renewables. California, Germany, Japan, Australia. It's clear a critical piece of the jigsaw is missing, one that will help manage the volatile nature of the grid. So at Powr Ledger, they've developed a way of integrating traditional energies with renewables, batteries with hydro, and the peaks with the troughs. It's the operating system for new energy markets and the power systems that they control. So they've identified two key concepts here: a digital identity for every electrical resource or power device, and a real-time market that facilitates the transaction between them. Our platform allows devices and humans to trade the power they need when they need it, simply, and in a way that's scalable for the entire energy system. So there are clearly a few moving parts here, but really what lies at the heart of this project is making renewable energy accessible and cost-efficient for everyone. What more do you want in terms of a practical use case from blockchain technology? So when you use the Powr Ledger platform, you are helping to stabilize the grid and helping to make renewables work for all of us. You are also reducing your costs. Sounds good to me. And here they list essentially their products. And there's quite a few here, guys, to deep dive. So I just kind of want to give as digestible a view as possible on these things so you can kind of understand the areas and the markets that they're looking at here. So we'll go into these very shortly. So I think that this here sums up very nicely what these guys do. We develop software for our clients and partners that allows the consumers and producers to track, trace, and trade every kind of kilowatt, wherever it is and whatever it is. And there are multiple points on their website where you can really find out much more about what these guys' mission is and how they started and what they're trying to do here, including their vision, their values, which is great to see. You don't see that on all websites. So yeah, there's a lot to deep dive here, guys. So really worth checking out. But let's now have a look at some of the pieces of software that they've developed to enable this. So they split it into two sections, energy trading and environmental commodity trading. So their software gives consumers choice over the energy they use and facilitates the trading of electricity peer-to-peer. So this is a huge enablement tool, guys, with clean energy and climate at the heart of everything. And to bake that in with financial incentives, it's like, man, this thing's so cool. So if you have solar panels on your rooftop, you can use the platform to sell excess energy to your neighbor. When coupled with batteries and our VPP platform feature, surplus solar can be stored and sold at the peak to maximize profits. We'll go into this, guys, the VPP, virtual power plants, really, really cool. But here we have all these pieces of technology. So UGrid and XGrid. XGrid lets customers sell energy from their solar panels to other energy consumers connected to the same electricity grid. So this is the main piece of software that allows you to trade across grid with benefits for the customer's retailer and distribution network, for the everyday renewable energy producer to plug in and start contributing. UGrid, so this maximizes the return of investment by enabling buildings to trade energy between each other. Detailed usage data allows you to track consumption and be more energy efficient in common areas because you'll be able to see where the bulk of energy is being used and by whom and manage it more efficiently. So for developers or building managers, the platform means you can offer more attractive rates to residents in comparison with traditional service providers. Mode VPP, a virtual power plant is created when you connect batteries individually or in union to support the grid and maximize income from excess solar energy. So what that actually looks like, guys, is this.
Households sell their stored power back to their energy retailer for a profit and pay back their investment faster.
So at the moment, there are no incentives for households to contribute their battery energy in peak periods, when people need it most and when essentially you can make the most money from it. There's little incentive to install a battery as a result, and for the energy retailers, peak periods are costly.
During a time of high demand for energy, houses with batteries can sell electricity to their retailer at a cheaper price than the grid. Powr Ledger's technology sets price spike alerts. When demand jumps,
here's an example of the actual software itself.
Households get income from energy stored in their battery. Long-term energy savings start from the ground up.
How cool is that, guys? That's essentially what these virtual power plants are. They have Mode, which is essentially the marketplace for optimization of distributed energy. So Mode identifies grid requirements and then creates a bidding and contracting mechanism for distributed energy resources and flexible loads, orchestrating dispatch and settling the transactions. Really cool piece of technology. Vision. So this is essentially the integration of their technology. So you can basically automatically track the energy generated by assets of any size and capacity. So this is essentially the part of the product that enables consumers to trace and choose their energy mix based on the type, source, location, and amount of energy they consume. So this is essentially RECs on steroids. Track, trace, and trade. So cool. Then we have PPA Vision, which is essentially the integration of this technology with independent power producers, embedded network operators, asset developers, and PV system owners. So generators can then customize the energy tracking and trading software to suit the regulatory requirements of governments, local councils, and businesses to assist them in reaching their renewable energy targets. So this is essentially the software for the providers and the bigger players and the governments and the councils to use this technology to really start taking control of the distribution of renewable energy. And finally, the PPA exchange, which essentially is the software that allows you to exchange these power purchase agreements. So although at first glance it can seem quite complicated, there really is quite a simple way to break it down and look at the layers. You have consumers at the heart of it, buildings and businesses as the second layer, and then governments / areas or communities as the kind of wider layer. And at each layer, of course, you're going to be an energy consumer, but you can also be an energy provider. So it's kind of creating this whole new ecosystem, giving people visibility on where they're getting their energy from if they're not an energy provider, as well as making renewable energies both accessible and cheaper. And on the other side, if you're an energy provider, you're obviously taking control of your energy and using blockchain technology and smart contracts, powering individuals and businesses with renewable energy and making the most profit out of that. And finally, the environmental commodities trading. So this is actually really cool because it plugs straight in to the existing marketplace of RECs and carbon credits, ensuring that they're more transparent, secure, and efficient. So using Trace, track and record environmental attribute certificates more efficiently, and Trace X, the digital marketplace for renewable energy certificates. So not only have they created the new technology, they're also helping the existing technology. And you really love to see it. You love to see a company that are here to do good for the world, but not just in an airy-fairy, let's save the planet, but in a realistic, applicable, functional model whereby economics is understood and the latest technology is being utilized. Big thumbs up from Crypto Nutrition. And here on their white paper, guys, they go through their platform applications, so essentially use cases. So peer-to-peer trading. So simply trade electricity with one another and receive payments in real time from an automated and trustless reconciliation and settlement system. So neo-retailers. So it's essentially enabling a market of new retailers with smart demand and supply management. Micro-embedded network operator strata. That's a mouthful. But really what this means is transforming the way that we track and trace electricity through our meters. You know, this is big data that using this technology, we're able to use to manage our grids at an unprecedented granular scale. Game changing. Wholesale market settlement, so it's quick, transparent, optimized. PPA dashboard, we've been into that. Electric vehicles, guys, this is a huge one. You know, as this market grows, the demand for energy grows with it, but not just energy, renewable energy. So the increase in open charge points, etc. Powr Ledger is a platform that's really able to power the new renewable energy world that we want to live in. And it means more retail opportunities essentially for renewable energy providers, whether that's huge renewable energy plants, wind turbine companies, or someone with some solar panels on their roof. So you probably couldn't pick a better team here, guys. And you can actually watch a number of them giving some really interesting talks on the industry as a whole and Powr Ledger itself, which really, in my opinion, don't have a fair amount of views in relation to how amazing what they're doing is. So please do go and check these out, guys. This could be the future. But Dr. Gemma Green, wealth of experience in the industry, worked on corporate social responsibility and sustainability at JP Morgan, and vast experience beyond that. John Bullich, the technical director and co-founder. This guy's got really good experience and has obviously built something here that's incredible. So hats off to these guys. And honestly, you just get a really good feel from the rest of the team as well. It looks like they've got some really smart people with loads of experience across multiple industries. And that's great to see. And not least of the most bullish things you'll read about Powr Ledger. I can't believe I've left it to this point, but it's their clients and partners. They're working across multiple continents, in multiple countries today. So they're being used in Australia, Silicon Valley in the States, Malaysia, Japan, France, India. And to just dig into the most recent piece of news, which was India, Powr Ledger technology deployed in first live solar energy trading in Delhi. So they've collaborated with two of the leading energy providers, Tata Power and India's Smart Grid Forum, across 150 of their sites, as well as their actual customers with solar generation who will use the P2P trading platform to sell their excess electricity to other residential and commercial sites in a dynamic pricing environment. So they've introduced the concept of energy trading to the world's second biggest city and an emerging economy with a huge population, which makes it super important that places like this adopt renewable energy. Otherwise, as these countries develop, the demand for global energy is obviously going to increase, potentially driving carbon emissions up. So super important that they're working in these kind of countries. But it's only one of the 24 projects that Powr Ledger is running in 10 countries, which we've seen. So real life use cases. And here's another one I found. So blockchain renewable energy trading creates path for microgrid electricity. So building these microgrids, distributing this industry to the everyday person and business and anyone that wants to be an energy provider. So this was a trial conducted for commercial energy consumers operating in Innovation Dock in the port of Rotterdam from August 2020. And it was this company called Distro, which I couldn't find, but the results were that users saw an 11% reduction of energy costs, producers saw a 14% increase in revenue, and the return on investment for battery storage also saw a 20% increase. Not only that, but wastage was also significantly reduced, with 92% of all solar generated in the dock consumed by local businesses. How much does this make sense? You can read about all their use cases here that are live and in operation today on their Medium page, so I recommend you check out some of those. Really cool to read. In terms of Twitter, guys, very good following here of 85.9k followers. You can see here the big news that came out from Delhi in India. And guys, you know, their posts are geared around what they're actually doing. There are no false promises here or what could be. This is, and I don't really know what else you want from an investment. So how are we looking at the moment, guys? Sitting at around 38 cents and rank 239. Like, how undervalued can you get at just $156 million market cap? And how does that compare to the closest competition? Guys, it's not even close. These guys are a blockchain market leader in this, which of course means that as soon as blockchain technology is adopted in the world, it will be companies like Powr that really will drive retail adoption of blockchain, because it's a real and proper use case that anyone can get behind, and really does prove the power of blockchain in one of the best ways possible. And guys, if we look at the chart here on a macro level, we haven't got started in this bull run. You know, we've of course seen some pumps recently with a 35% increase in the last 30 days. But guys, the 2017 bull run, we were hitting $1.89. So I think you can make a good case for the fact that we haven't even really got started this bull run for Powr. And if we look to the trading view chart, guys, it looks like we've just broken to the upside of this symmetrical triangle, looking incredibly bullish. The relative strength index is looking bullish as well, moving in the right direction. You can see with these wicks that there is a lot of selling power when we move up, but I'd imagine that might be a few people from the previous bull run getting stung and trying to cash in. But what I see here is that the reins are starting to come off this project, guys, and it could really pop up any minute. That's not financial advice, guys. None of what I'm saying is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm also not invested in this project, guys. And the more I talk about it, the more I need to get into this. So if you guys want to enter a trade with me or want to discuss this project, jump into that Discord server, guys. All links available on the YouTube homepage. So guys, that was my review on Powr. Not only do these guys have one of the most incredible use cases in one of the largest narratives in the globe, being renewable energy, carbon footprint, and the environmental crisis, but they have the technology working today, being used across multiple countries. And the chart still looks tame. Guys, if this isn't an altcoin gem that you can feel good about investing in for the long term, I don't know what is. Let me know what you think, guys. Hit me up in the comments section down below. Please do slap a like on the video, guys, to support the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. Join us in the Discord server. Follow me on Twitter, it's @CryptoNutrition. And together, let's drive this community forward. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.